Alright, let's start things off by going back in time about 4 years. It's mid to late March, and I'm back in my senior year of high school playing some CSGO with friends, of course raging because I can't aim to save my life. And after downranking to Silver Elite and calling my teammates I call it quits. And then my mom came into my room, mainly to yell at me for calling my teammates but also to ask if I wanted to see a movie. I needed a break from gaming, so I obliged, and soon enough we were off to see Zootopia, a movie I knew nothing about besides that it was by Walt Disney Animation Studios, so I could turn off my brain and enjoy it greatly. Also, there were cute animals and that smug-looking fox that stands on 2 legs. He looked important enough in the film, so I thought, what could go wrong? I wasn't a furry back then, but even I knew he was good-looking. And a few hours later, I left that movie theater feeling pretty good. I enjoyed the film, I thought it was really cute and semi-memorable, but didn't think much of it later. To me, it was just another Disney film that I could forget about in a week's time and not worry about it after. The thing is, I didn't do that. I looked through the Zootopia hashtags and mentions on Twitter to see what others thought about the movie and if there was anything more I didn't catch in my first go. But I didn't just receive that. Instead, I just so happened to have learned about Fursuit Friday and got my first introduction to the interesting world of furries and the furry fandom. So Zootopia, as you know, can be summarized as the Disney film about anthropomorphic animals that act and walk around like normal people. And yes, there is a plot to the whole thing with stereotypes and symbolisms based on the different animals and their lifestyles, and you can interpret the film however you want. But for the sake of this video, it's just cute and fluffy cartoon animals. That's it. But Zootopia was special. It had the Pixar touch, even though it wasn't at all made by Pixar. I actually screwed that up when making this video. But the universe Walt Disney Animations managed to put together in the film was massive, and it shows even 4 years later with a presumed sequel coming at some point, I think. Disney Twitter is very, very ambiguous. From the character design to the human-like society they live in to even the clothing they wear, Zootopia itself is very, very memorable. You had people like me who fulfilled the edgy gamer stereotype who still enjoyed the film and hell, even went to research it later on. Maybe I was just a furry to begin with and didn't know it. Now, even if the story was simple and a lot remains unexplored in that universe, the simple idea of fluffy cartoon anthropomorphic animals attracted a very specific hobby, the furry fandom. And if you don't know what furries are, just go and watch this video. It'll clear up everything, I promise. Naturally, furries were infatuated with Zootopia as it perfectly encapsulated a specific fantasy that to this day remains the basis of the furry fandom. Cartoon animals being brought to life through art and self-expression. Like, come on, this movie is perfect for furries. I could sit here all day talking about why it works the way it does, and because of Disney, these cartoon animals weren't just brought to life, they were brought into the spotlight of mainstream media. So before Zootopia even happened, furries didn't have much in terms of media to relate to that was kept mainstream. As is, the concept of furries was low-key and more of a private hobby than anything, but media relation or even media representation was very limited. There was The Lion King, Robin Hood, and a couple other cartoons scattered here and there, but nothing in the mainstream media. And with how the fandom relies on fictional content relating to cartoon animals, you can see why furries weren't a known thing. Now picture you're back in 2016. You've got Disney, this animation giant, releasing an animated film that very closely relates to furries even if it wasn't intended to. You've got main characters that are very relatable and have that charm that allows viewers to connect with them, and even connect in other ways I wish people wouldn't. Like, at all. And to top it off, you have a brand new universe that is so unexplored and untapped where fans are craving for a sequel. This is what Zootopia did for the furry fandom. It brought the concept of furries into the mainstream through recommendations and the fandom's natural fascination with this type of media. So I guess because of how the fandom reacted to Zootopia's release is what brought them into the spotlight. Makes sense. I wasn't personally there to see how furries responded to Zootopia, but what I can assume, based on how Beastars is happening right now, is that enough people were talking about it, both furries and non-furries, that furry accounts, posts, and photos were recommended alongside normal posts about the film. I could probably search up Nick Wilde even now and find something furry related in less than 5 minutes. And you know what? We're actually going to do that right now. I've got nothing to do for the rest of this video. I've kind of proven my point and it's finishing up. So let's do something fun. You and I experience whatever this is going to be. Hopefully there's no porn. That's like praying to God right there. There's definitely going to be porn. What am I talking about? Okay, so start off, just Nick Wilde. Timer starts now. All right, so we got Nick Wilde. Really cute. Look at that face. Hold on. Look at, oh, hold on. Look at this boy. He is handsome. You know, we're just gonna, for later, just gonna Okay, perfect. Oh, good looking Nick. Okay. I will say though, Nick is pretty handsome, but not as handsome as another Foxo I know. I hope to God he's watching this. But we're off to a pretty good start. Just looking at pictures of Nick Wilde, very cute. You got the personality, you got everything we want. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Even like who's the fursuit maker here? Made for you? Is that a made for you? I think that's a lacy suit. Is that a lacy? No, it's not a lacy suit. Oh, we got some nice cute art. Oh, we have some art? Okay. Oh, this is a real interesting trip, I'll say that. Oh man. Oh god. What have you guys done? Actually though, what have you done? But here you go. Here's a relatively clean thing. You got this adorable bean. Like, look at him. Imagine you're a normal person. Oh geez, this is some pretty good art. Who's the artist? Did I just scroll down on porn? That is definitely porn. I'm gonna scroll back up now. So imagine you're just a normal person going through this art being like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. Who's the artist? I want to see more stuff. Oh, where am I now? What's a fur affinity? And then they're just here. It's easy as that. I don't know how long that's been. I think that was 2 minutes, maybe. But it just takes one click, one initial interest, one look at some nice furry art, or really just Zootopia art, and then you're here. I will say though, this is a really nice picture. I'm just gonna, just do, I don't know. Sometimes it just be that way. So that was an experience. I don't even think my example really proved anything about Zootopia putting a spotlight on the furry fandom, rather the other way around. But in this case, the reaction furries had definitely played a role in how they became somewhat tied to the film. If it weren't for the reaction from the fandom, I don't think Zootopia would have naturally bridged that gap to it. Even on the other end of it, if Zootopia was changed drastically in its story, or hell, even made by a different animation studio, viewers wouldn't see it as highly as it originally was, and in turn, furries wouldn't have had that moment. There have been plenty of movies released in the past that relate to the furry fandom, with the idea of cartoon anthropomorphized animals and that draw interest from both furries and non-furries, but haven't had that same effect. I think because it was a Disney film and the timing of everything with internet marketing and advertising and Disney just being an overall superpower, that kind of made it all happen. But regardless of everything, Zootopia may not be the reason why I'm in the furry fandom today. Same with probably a lot of you. But it was the cause of how I learned about the furry fandom's existence and gained that first introduction. If Zootopia hadn't happened, like, at all, I don't think I'd be a part of the furry fandom today. So honestly, I'm pretty happy with how things turned out, and hopefully you guys are too. So on that note, thank you all for watching. As most of you know, this video was kind of very different from what I normally do, and I actually really like this new commentating style I've been working on, so any feedback on it is greatly appreciated. Somewhere below you can also find my Patreon if you wanted to support these kinds of videos further, or if you wanted to join my patron Discord for just $1. In all honesty, my patrons are the reason I'm able to even make these videos, let alone do this as a part-time job, and I can't thank them enough for their generosity. And finally, if you haven't noticed, I'm closer to this big number. Yeah, so any help on that is appreciated. It's honestly been one of my childhood dreams ever since joining YouTube. Not even 1 million subs, I didn't think I'd make it that big, but this is really the ultimate one. And besides that, I've got nothing else. Have an awesome day, guys. And as always, stay life jacket. Take care.